Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. This is Property Management 101, and for today's video, we're going to be discussing how to build a strong maintenance team. This video will really apply to anyone that is a maintenance supervisor or a property manager, and you're about to hire and build out your maintenance team. This video also applies to the situation of keeping a strong maintenance team. So there's definitely some crossovers between some of the things we're going to be discussing in this video and some of the videos that I've shared before on this channel. Today, we're going to be reviewing 5 things that'll help you build and maintain a strong maintenance team. Number 1, you really want to make sure you hire strong candidates. If you've not already watched my 2 videos regarding interviews and also about hiring pitfalls, I'm going to post a link in the video description and at the end of this video, as well as the escaping hiring pitfalls in the top corner of the page now. These 2 videos go over a lot of different things when it comes to good practices, when it comes to interviews, as far as the types of questions you want to ask and what to look for. And regarding escaping hiring pitfalls really outlines some things to look for as far as what can you do to avoid maybe a lot of turnover or hiring the wrong candidate for the position. The best way to start building a strong maintenance team is making sure you're hiring the right candidates. One big tip I can recommend when it comes to hiring a maintenance employee is not just you want to look for their experience level when it comes to the skills and the duties of the job, but really want to make sure when it comes to property management maintenance employees, they have a strong social skills as well. These individuals are going to be in people's homes, they're going to be working with residents while they're there, they're going to be interacting with them as they walk around the property. So you really want to make sure not just they have the skills when it comes to the job, but have some strong social skills as well to make that resident feel comfortable. Welcome back to Property Management 101. For those of you that are new here, please allow me to introduce you to our community. This channel is dedicated to discussing best practices, offering valuable tips, and sharing tricks that are tailored specifically to the property management industry. You may have noticed there is an abundance of podcasts, channels, and websites out there providing information that's related to the property management industry. However, much of this content is focused on catering to investors and to property owners really maximizing their investments. Here's where we stand out. Our channel is created with you, the individuals in the trenches, in mind. We are here to support those that are actively involved in managing properties, ensuring that not only your efforts are worthwhile, but also highly effective. So whether you're a seasoned professional or you're new to the property management industry, you've come to the right place. Join us as we dive into proven practices for the property management industry, and we'll be discussing many different types of demographic and asset types in the property management industry. Thank you for being a part of our community, and we look forward to engaging with you on this exciting journey in the property management space. The second step that you need to do when it comes to building a strong maintenance team and keeping it is you want to make sure that you have a good, solid training process. I'm a big believer when it comes to new employees, you want to train them and retrain them. There's going to be a lot of things when it comes to that early period that they're not going to retain, right? It's information overload. They're probably having a situation too where they're getting a lot of thrown at them when it's early on in that job. They're getting used to the property, getting used to the team, getting used to the product. So it's going to be really important that you give them opportunities to recap and review things you've already trained them on when it comes to their initial first days. When it comes to employees that have been there for quite some time, I'm a big believer when it comes to training to give training refreshers to these employees. Oftentimes it's easy to have standard slip when you don't revisit certain things when they have learned maybe years ago. So this is a great opportunity as a supervisor, whether it be a maintenance supervisor or a property manager, periodically revisit some of the standards you have at that property when it comes to certain processes and certain ways to complete a job. Now, when it comes to retraining employees that maybe recently been hired, I'm a big believer at that 90-day mark or maybe at that 120-day mark after they've been hired and in the position. This is a great opportunity to revisit some of the things that you went over with them maybe in those first couple weeks. Oftentimes, because of the dynamic of information overload, they may not have been able to retain everything that they learned. So this is a great check-in point to retrain them on some of the things that they learned early on when they were hired and started in their role. When you're a supervisor, whether you're a property manager or a maintenance supervisor, training should never stop with your staff. I always believe property managers should also revisit maybe right before the peak leasing season with the leasing team, some leasing tips and tricks. But with maintenance, I think it's always a good thing to periodically check in with your team and revisit certain standards when it comes to training. And as your staff has been there maybe for a few years, you want to start having them branch out into different areas that they may not have had the opportunity to work on yet. So So maybe you have a maintenance employee that really doesn't know a lot about pool maintenance, but you're the maintenance supervisor and you're the certified pool operator. This is a great time to get some of your other staff knowledgeable about what it takes to maintain the pool. This way, if you're out of the office or if something comes up and you're not able to address, as your employees' knowledge base grows of the property and duties, then you can continue positioning them for potential promotions. And this is a really good thing as well when it comes to training your employees. This will give them a lot of confidence and broaden their horizon when it comes to their knowledge base. One common mistake I often see supervisors make is they try to create a process for every single scenario. And then when that employee comes across a situation that there's not a process for, they're like a deer in headlights. This is why I think it's really important to really train what's the big picture goal of the property and training your employees to have a certain mindset overall when it comes to decision making and troubleshooting. This will allow that employee, if and when a situation comes up that there's not a process for, to make the best judgment to protect that property's best interests as well as it's in line with the strategy of that particular asset. It's going to be hard to create a process for every situation. It's also probably not realistic. So I think it's really important you train for a certain mindset and strategy for all of your employees. This will give them confidence and give them the ability to think on their feet when a situation comes up that there's not a process for. And the third step that you want to do when it comes to maintaining and building a strong maintenance team is you want to have clear and simple processes. This is another common mistake I see that management companies make is they make these processes that are way too confusing for what they need to be. The more simple a process is, the more likely you're going to have a situation where there's less manual errors, you're going to have more consistency, and this is also going to result in a situation where you're less likely to be in a bad fair housing position and your efficiency for your overall property will flow much nicer. So when it comes to clear and simple processes, there's going to be some processes where there's going to be multiple steps needed, but there's always going to be processes that you probably can cut out a step or two, make it more simple, make it easier to understand and easier for your staff to remember. So often when I work with the teams, I often hear that there's 4 different people doing a process 4 different ways. Most likely then if they're doing it 4 different ways, there's probably multiple ways to get it done. But if you have certain processes that need to be followed for certain checks and balances that are required, you want to make those as simple as possible because the harder and more difficult and the more steps needed tends to then start to lean into situations where everyone's doing it different ways. So something to keep in mind, if everyone's doing it a different way and you do have a process for it, can that process be more simplified? Regardless how strong of a staff you have and regardless how strong that you hire and put into your hiring and training processes, you're going to have staff that you're going to lose if you have all these processes that are way too complicated. So that's something to strongly keep in mind to avoid staff frustration. And the fourth thing that you want to do is you want to have consistent guidance and support for your staff. Data shows us when a staff member feels more supported in their role, they are also more productive, they stay longer, and have a better well-being about their job. So this is going to be really important to make sure that not only you giving them advice of different things and following up with training, but you give them encouragement and support throughout the day-to-day. This is something with this step I don't see supervisors do enough when it comes to their maintenance staff. You want to make sure your staff knows that they can lean on you for support, they can lean on you for guidance. You're giving them kudos when those moments arise of the job they're completing. So that's something I would strongly advise for every supervisor to do as well, is making sure your staff feels supported and you have their back as a supervisor. By giving them encouragement, it's also going to give them a really good sense of direction that the staff knows what the big picture goals of the property are and for their particular position. And this is something that segues very nicely into the fifth thing that we're going to be talking about today, and that is making sure that you and your team have clear defined goals. Your entire team should be very aware of the big picture strategy is for the property that they work at, as well as their individual day-to-day and how that influences the big picture and the big strategy goal for that given property. Oftentimes, I've seen the mistake where the maintenance team doesn't necessarily know the overall strategy of the property. And this is, I feel like, a big thing when it comes to the decision making for your staff. If they understand what the big picture goal is, they're going to have more of a sense of purpose of their day-to-day job. They're going to understand the big picture, and that's also going to help their day-to-day decision making for situations that don't have a process, for example. If you go to a site and you ask that maintenance team, hey, what's the strategy of the property, and they can't tell you the overall strategy or the goals, this is something where it tells me, hey, they don't have good internal communication, and this is something that has not been relayed down to them. This is a big mistake if you ask me. If your team has more of a sense of purpose, they're going to feel more valued. And data shows us that any staff member or team that feels more supported, they have a clear defined goal and a clear purpose, then they're less likely to leave and look for another job, and you're going to have better overall employee retention. For example, you may also have some things that are some internal maintenance related goals. For example, let's say one of your goals at your maintenance department is to have a make-ready turnaround time averaging 7 or less days. Then at your property, the average turnaround time is 7 or less days for any unit that becomes vacant. You're always going to have situations where the unit's left in worse condition, you're going to need more time, but you probably should also have situations where you're able to turn it quicker in 7 days as well. That should help balance out those longer turns. This is something that's going to be really important for your entire staff to be aware of, so they're in full sync when it comes to this overall goal. And for a video recap today, please keep in mind these 5 areas that you can do to help build a strong maintenance team. Number 1, you want to hire strong candidates. So there's a couple videos that I've shared before when it comes to interviewing processes and questions, as well as good tips when it comes to hiring pitfalls that I have seen. So I'm going to post a link to both those videos in the video description. But keep in mind, when you're hiring for a maintenance staff member, you don't just necessarily want to hire someone that has a good skill set and knows the duties of the job, but they also have a strong social skills as well, as these individuals are going to be in a resident's home, and we want those residents to feel comfortable. Number 2, you really want to make sure that you train your employees. So for new employees, you want to have a thorough process when it comes to training, and also retrain them at the 90 and 100 day mark. I'm also a big believer in giving your staff refreshers, especially those individuals that may have been there for a few years. This will avoid any standards from slipping. Number 3, you want to make sure you have clear and simple processes. Too often I see maintenance supervisors make the mistake of making processes harder than they need to be. This makes it really hard for your staff to have good consistency when performing these processes, as well as efficiencies. And the easier you make the processes, the more likely they're going to remember them. Number 4, you really want to make sure your staff consistently gets good support and guidance. And data shows us when a staff has better support, then they feel more valued and they're less likely to look for other jobs, and you're going to overall have better employee retention. And last but not least, number 5, you want to make sure that you have clear defined goals. When your team has a sense of purpose when it comes to goals for their individual position, as well as the department, as well as the property, and the ability to make good decisions when situations come up. It's really important that your maintenance team knows the overall strategy and goals of the property. Thank you for watching till the end of the video. I hope this video provided at least one valuable tip for you and your teams. Your feedback is very important to us. Please leave a comment if you have any suggestions as far as how can we improve this video, or if you have any questions, or if there's aspects of this video that you felt that we left out on this subject. We'd love to hear from you. If you want to show your support, please feel free to like the video, as well as comment what your favorite part of the video was. Happy leasing!